sand testing. Okay. See, sand testing. I'll stop my video if there is issues may be there. So, sand testing. Molding sand and coarse sand. The sand are tested both the molding and coarse sands. Both are tested, and they are used upon their size, composition, and distribution of sand grains, and amount of clay, moisture, and additives. So all these things we have discussed. What is the role of the moisture? What is the role of the clay and additives? And what is the importance of the grain size there? So we have to go here. Composition, distribution of sand grains, composition, size, composition, distribution of the sand grains, amount of clay, and the moisture and additives. So the increase in demand for good surface finish and higher accuracy in castings necessitates certainty in the quality of mold and coarseness. So the main thing is that why we are going for the surface sand testings, because the good quality sands provide the good surface finish, provides good surface finish. So that we'll always choose the good sand that will high quality sand that will provide the good surface finish. So sand testing, have you ever heard the term or not? I am not aware of that. During the construction of the houses, some particular of grain size sands are used for the plastering of the for the finishing purposes of the houses. Have you heard that or not? I am not clear. କେବେ ଶୁଣିଥିବ ଯେ ଘରେ ଆଗରୁ ଘର କାମ ଯେତେବେଳେ ହୁଏ ସେତେବେଳେ ପ୍ଲାଷ୍ଟର ବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ପର୍ଟିକୁଲାର କହନ୍ତି ମୋଟା ବାଲି ୟୁଜ୍ କରିବ ପ୍ଲାଷ୍ଟର ପାଇଁ, କାହିଁକି ନା ବେଟର ସରଫେସ୍ ଫିନିସ୍ ଆସିଯିବ ବୋଲି ତା ପାଇଁ। Same I mean, the surface for the same thing applied here. For the good surface finish, the particular high accuracy and the need of the high accuracy castings, the particular sands are good quality sands are used. So, sand testing often allow the why you are going for the sand testing that allows us to use of less expensive local sands if locally stuff. Mute all. So, if locally we have the good quality sands, then why will go for the expensive sands? If locally we have available, we have the good quality sands. After testing, the sand testing purpose of that sand testing, if we have the some sands available locally, and we have to go for the testing. If that sand will pass the sand testing qualities, then we must use that. So there is no need to export the no need to procure the sand from the other purchasers. So it will save the cost. So another thing is that sand testing on delivery will immediately detect any variation from the standard quality and adjustment of the sand mixture to specific requirement so that the casting defects can be minimized. So casting the sand testing is to main purpose is to minimize the casting defects. In the casting defects, we have there is also the bad surface finish also, the surface finish also a factor also. So the main purpose of the sand testing is to minimize the defects in casting. So it allows the choice of sand mixtures to give desired surface finish also. And the sand testing is one of the dominating factor in foundry and the pays for itself by obtaining lower per unit cost. So that will also the cost of the casting or the procurement cost will also be minimized. So the first thing is to minimize the defects in the casting, also the surface finish, obtain the desired surface finish, and the third factor is to minimize the cost associated with the sands if the sands are locally procured. So now what are the sand testing methods available to us? What is the general methods of sand testing? The testings are first is the moisture content test, Second, the clay content test, grain fitness test, permeability test, then strength test, refractoriness test, and then mold hardness test. These are the tests. Normally, the 7 categories of tests are here for the sand. The sand must be passed through these 7 tests. These are the tests. So, see here. First, we see moisture content test. What is that moisture content test? Moisture, why we are adding moisture? Moisture is adding for the purpose of binding. The purpose of the binding or also to increase the cohesiveness property of the sands. So moisture is the property of molding sand. It is defined as the amount of water present in the molding sand. Moisture means the amount of water present in the molding sand. Low moisture content in the molding sand does not develop strength properties. So moisture is also a factor for increasing the green strength in the sand. Moisture is essential. So low moisture means the sand has the low strength. So high moisture content decrease. So just imagine here. One thing is if the sand has low moisture content, then it has low strength. Low strength means it has low green strength. So at the same time, if you choose the sand with high moisture content, then it will also decrease its permeability. So you have to choose the sand that don't have the low moisture or high amount of moisture. So the procedures are, what are the procedures involved here are the 1.2 to 50 grams prepared sand is placed in a pan. So what is the procedures? What is the moisture content test? 1.2 to 50 gram. 1.20 grams to 50 grams of sand, prepared sand is placed in the pan, the cooking pan, and is heated by an infrared heater. That means micro ovens where the infrared heating is done. Infrared heater valve for 2 to 3 minutes. Then second point is the moisture in the molding sand is thus evaporated. If we are heating, then what are the moistures in that sand will be evaporated. Then third, molding sand is taken out of the pan and re-weighted. So how can you measure the moisture content? Then again that what happens after the evaporation of the moisture from the sand, then we have to weight it, re-weighted it. We are taken 1.20 gram to 50 grams of sand. We are taken moisture sand, then heated it in a infrared heater. After the heating process have completed, then we'll taken out that pan and re-weighted it. The percentage of moisture can be calculated from the difference in the weights. So now we can calculate. The simple calculations are there. Na? We are just place the moisture content sand in the infrared heater. After the evaporation of the water, again re-weighted it. Then what is the percentage of moisture content? That is W1 minus W2 by W1 into per 100. So that will be the percentage. W1 means weight of the sand before drying, or W2 is the weight of the sand after drying. This is the method of measuring the moisture content. So this is moisture content test. See, this is the moisture content test. By placing that in an infrared heater. Molding sand is placed inside an infrared heater. After the moisture is evaporated, then we have to re-weight it. Then after that we have, we are calculating the moisture content in the sands. Okay. So then the clay content test. First one the moisture content test, second one the clay content test. So clay content, as you know, clay has the biggest role. Clay has the role of binder. Clay has do the role of binder. So clay is essential in the sands. So we should measure what is the clay content. So clay content can be measured. So as you know, clay influence strength. What is the influence factor here? Clay influences strength, permeability, and other molding properties also. It is responsible for bonding sand particles together. As you know, K is used as a binder. It increases the strength. Increases the strength, permeability, and other molding properties also. So what is the procedure for the clay content test? Is started with small quantity of prepared molding sand was dried. So we'll take a small quantity of molding sand, prepared molding sand, and then dried it. And then we'll dry it. separate 50 grams of dry molding sand and transfer sand and transfer wash bottle. We will separate from that 50 grams of dry molding sand and then transfer it to a wash bottle. Add 75 cc cubic centimeter of distilled water plus 25 cc of 3% of sodium hydroxide, NaOH. Okay. So fourth process is we are mixing this. Agitate this mixture about 10 minutes. We'll mix this mixture for about 10 minutes with the help of a sand stirrer. There is a sand stirrer also. So we are using sand stirrer for the mixing processes. Fill the wash bottle with water up to the mark. Then the water bottle has a marking there. So up to the water marking, we'll fill the water there. After the sand has settled for about 10 minutes, siphon out the water from the wash bottle. So after that, we'll after the mixing process is over for about 10 minutes. So what is the water available in the wash bottle? We have to drain out. Okay, we have to drain out. Then dry the settled down sand. The sand available at the below the bottle is to dry them. The clay content can be determined from the difference in weights in the initial and the final sand samples. So here we are measuring the clay. Clay is mixed with the sand. We have taken the molding sand. Clay is already mixed with the molding sand. So to measure what is the percentage of clay there, clay is the binder, clay is also used as a binder. So measure that binder proportions. So what we do now, we separate 50 grams of dry molding sand and transfer it to wash bottle. In that wash bottle, we are adding distilled water of 475 cc, then adding 25 cc of NaOH. After that, we will stirring that. Then when the stirring process is completed, then by adding water, we are stirring that. After the stirring process is completed, then we have to wash out the water from that bottle. So again we have to re-weight that. So percentage calculation is same. Formula is one. The above formula and this formula. Formula is same, only that the W1 is the weight of the sand before drying and W2 is the weight of the sand after drying. So this is the W1 and W2. Before drying process and this is the after drying process. Okay, so this way we are calculate the clay content test, clay percentage of clay in the sands. So then the grain fitness test. Grain fitness test, I think this experiment was in our syllabus also. The grain fitness test. Here we have to calculate the grain size. The grain size distribution. Then your grain fitness are determined with the help of fitness testing of molding sands. That is called fitness testing of molding sands. Then apparatus consists of number of standard sieves. There are sieves. Sieves means bujiparjo. Have you understand what is that sieve? Sieve bujucha na bujuno? Are sieve bujiparjo na bujiparno? See. This is called a sieve. जो आगुरु सुनिथिबो घरे चालुनी जो कहन्छ. This is the sieve. This is a different size sieves, different shape and different size of sieves. So that means we are allowing only certain amount of certain size of sands through this. If the sieve size is large, then large size of sand will pass through it. So accordingly, what is the requirement of the grain size, or we have to measure what is the general size of the grains in the sand. We are using sieves, different size of sieves. See this. So this sieve testing is also, you have one experiment also, sieve testing. So to do this, if you know the process of sieving, in your households, घरे केबे देखिचो केबे चालुनी रे चलेइबार केंति चलिया जाय, वाइब्रेट करके हाथ को हले हले कि वाइब्रेट करके चलिया जाय. तो आमे जो इंडस्ट्रियल यूज करिया थोड़ने आमे हाथ रे हलेबा कि, we are using the vibrator. So there is using the vibrator, different size of sieves and shaker vibrator. The shaker vibrator, the sieves and the sand placed on the top sieve gets screened and collects on different sieves. Depend, Bhavani, what happens to you? Sieves depending upon the various size of grains present in the molding sand. So what happens here? Now, this is the different size of sieves. This size sieves is displaced in that manner, na? This figure from top to bottom. Once the sand is placed in the top, first it will be placed in the top sieve. After that, after the shaking, after the vibration shaking, some sands will be moved to second. According to the grain size, according to the size of the sieves, some sands will be transferred to this sieve. Then this process will be coming to the last, up to last. So in the first, some sand will be there. In second, some particular size of sand will be there. Up to the from first to last sieve, some particular size of sand grains will be there. So from that we can assume, we can know what is the size of the grains of the sands that we are using. ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ କ'ଣ କହୁଛି ନା ନାଇଁ ବୁଝିପାରୁନ କିଛି? ଆରେ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ନା ବୁଝିପାରୁନ କ'ଣଟା କହୁଛି? Shubhendu Kumar, voice is breaking. ଆରେ ଶୁଣି ପାରୁଛ ନା ଶୁଣି ପାରୁନ କିଛି କେହି?
सर स्लाइड टा सर कोटा अछि क्लास कंटेंट टेस्ट
कोनटा ମୁଁ ବୁଝି ପାରିଲିନି कोनटा କହିଲୁ? कोन କହିଲୁ ମୁଁ ବୁଝି ପାରିଲିନି? रे बुझी पारछ ମୁଁ कोनटा कहूची ना କିଛି ବୁଝି ପାରୁନ ଶୁଣି ପାରୁନ? ନା ମୁଁ ଖାଲି ବक ବक होची?
यस सर बुझी होची.
So process is simple. हमको ग्रेन साइज मेजर करिवार अछि सैंड रो को ग्रेन अछि जो सैंड जो पार्टिकल अछि त भितर को साइज रो ग्रेन अछि सेति पे हम मेजर करिया पे कोन करछे ना सिव रखुचे डिफरेंट साइज रो सिव हम यूज करछे फ्रॉम टॉप टू बॉटम एठी जदी टॉप रे मु किछि सैंड दे देली से तो सिविंग करले कोन हो पर्टिकुलरली मु जदी एठी होल टा एठी बिगर साइज रो नै थिबी ताले कोन हो जिवो टॉप टा रे बिगर साइज रो ग्रेन टा रहि जिवो आ स्मॉलर उडा सब ता तळको आसो देन मु स्मॉलर टा रे कोन करबी ना सपोज मु एठी 50 माइक्रोन यूज करछि साइज रो जदि 50 माइक्रोन साइज रो सैंड उडा को ऊपर रहि जिवो से 50 माइक्रोन रो ऊपर को जो सैंड साइज थियो से ऊपर रहि गेला सेकंड उडा ता तळको जो माने से सेकंड को आसीबे मु सेकंड रे जो सिप टा यूज करछि सपोज सेकंड सिप इज 30 micron. Second sieve is 30 micron. So 30 micron means the size of the sand, grain size of the sand below 30 micron will pass through the next sieve. Will pass through the next sieve. Then again I am distributed the size of the grains accordingly the number of the sieves. So that means the higher size grains will be collected here in the upper sieves. So accordingly I can averaged out, accordingly we can average out that what is the size of the grains we have. So always we have, if the grain size is high, the higher grain size will gives us good properties also, good permeability also, good strength also. Okay, so here we can calculate the what is the grain size of the sands. Then we'll move to the next slide. Then flowability test. There is a flowability. Every sand has the flowability also. So flowability of the molding and the core sand usually determined by the movement of the rammer or plunger between the fourth and fifth drops, and it indicates its percentage. Flowability means we know that sand must have the good flowability because it will it will take the shape of the all the intricate shapes. It will flow through all the intricate shapes of the mold area or the pattern. So The flowability is determined by the movement of the rammer. Movement of the rammer plunger. That means we are during the setting of the sand, we are giving the force to the sand mold by a rammer or a plunger. By a rammer or a plunger. So by setting for the purpose of setting. Setting means we are by applying the force here. By applying the force there, just like I'm just showing to you. You see. See my
Fifth drop
this is a
sir?
pen. This is a pen. Okay. This can be taken as a rammer. If I have a sand, if in this place, if I have a sand, ramming means I am just putting the pressure on the sands, just like that. We are doing that in labs also. If we are possible, then you can do that. So we are pressing the sands. That the outside of the sand, that will be frame. That will be wood frame or the metal frames. In that frame, we have the cope or drag. Both the cope and drag we have to ramming. We have, after placing the pattern on the sand, we have to ramming that, we giving the forces. Though if the sand has the high flowability, then by the ramming process, the sand will flow to the every intricate corners of the mold cavity, or we can say the pattern area, pattern area. So that is a very much essential that sands must have good flowability. That's why that we can obtain good surface finish also, and we can achieve the all the intricate shapes and generally the corners of the objects or the casting product. So let's see here.
Sir, plunger कोड है.
So that is called as
Sir.
ram plunger. Actually, ram if you are doing it in hand, that is called as ramming. This device, if this is used for the ramming process, then it is called as rammer. Okay. If that is done by, I am doing in hand. If there is machine ramming, na, that is hand ramming. If that is done by the machine, then that is called as ramming plunger. That device is called as, including with that device is called as ramming plunger. Okay. If that is done in hand, then it will be only the rammer. If that is done by the machine, then that is called a ram plunger. Okay. So there is the difference in machining, ramming with hand and ramming with the machines. If you are using machine, then it will be ram plunger. If you are not using machine, then it will be rammer. Okay. So,
Sir, fourth clip drop, sir. Sir, fourth and fifth drops, sir.
We are pressing, na? Just see.
Yes, sir.
Fourth and fifth drop. Dropping the rammer into the sand. We are dropping the rammer into the sand. That is saying that rammer plunger between the fourth and the fifth drops. Rammer movement of the rammer plunger between the fourth and the fifth drops. During the fifth and fourth and fifth drop, we are seeing the flowability of the sands. If the sand is completely filled, if that sand is not completely filled during the fourth and fifth drop, dropping means this is the process of pressing. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. That is called the movement of the rammer. That is drop. Okay. So yeah, this reading can be directly taken on the dial of the flow indicator. If we have the arrangement, if we are doing in machining ramming, then there is a flow indicator that will show the flowability of the sand. Then the stem of this indicator, that is the machining. If there is a machine, flow indicator machine, this process is used for the measurement of the flowability during the in the machining, in the flowability testing machine. So we don't have the flowability testing machine, so we don't go through this in details. So then there is the permeability test. So remember these things I am telling you repeatedly, that permeability is one of the most important property of sand. Okay. And it will be asked in most of the time. Permeability questions from permeability, short questions of 1 mark question will be asked from the casting about permeability. So what is permeability and what is the importance of permeability is very essential for you. So dry sand has the permeability good, or the wet sand has the good permeability? That will be always a question. So permeability test. The quantity of air that will pass through the standard specimen of the sand at a particular pressure condition is called permeability of sand. So why we are reading permeability? Now permeability means the evaporating or escaping capacity of the absorbed gas during the pouring of the molten metal. When we are pouring the molten metal in the mold cavity, some gases will be absorbed. So sand has the ability, so that molding sand has the ability to evaporate these absorbed gases during the pouring process. If that the gases will not absorbed and that will not evaporated from the during the pouring process, then that will create huge defects in the castings. So that is one of the most essentiality of permeability test. Permeability means the amount of air that will passes through the standard mold specimen, standard specimen. So from that we can measure the permeability test. If you through this through that mold airs are not able to pass through that, then that sand mold has low permeability. We are never using low permeability sand in castings. So casting from permeability is measured by the method of passing the air through the standard specimen. So, following are the major parts of permeability test equipment. What are the parts used here? What are the parts used here? That is the first one is the inverted well jar, which falls in water. So these are the tests. I will not explain you. I am unable to explain you because sorry for that, because it is related to the experimental procedures, total experimental procedures. So you have just to know what is that permeability test. Permeability test is to pass the air through the specimen. If the air is if that particular amount of air pass through that sand specimen, standard specimen, then we obtain that sand has the good permeability. So escaping capacity, na? We are saying that escaping capacity of the sand of the air or the gases, enveloped gases. So that is permeability. Okay. So next we'll move to steps, that is the steps involved here. Generally, what are the calculation? This is the calculation of the permeability number here. Generally, we are taking 2000 cubic centimeter volume. The air, we are taking the air. When we're talking about the air, mute all. Mute all. Okay. So the amount of air, when you're talking about the air quality or air amount, that air amount is normally 2000 cubic centimeter volume. Held in a bell jar is forced to pass through the sand specimen. That held in a bell jar and forced to pass through the sand specimen. If that air is passed through that specimen, then we'll obtain that that the sand has the good permeability. So this is the showing here. This is the calculations for permeability number, that is called the permeability number N. The formula is V into H by APT, where V is the volume of air that we are taking it. Is 2000 cc. Then H is the height of the specimen, that the sand specimen we are taken here. That is in mm. Then area of that specimen. P is the pressure, air pressure through which we are passing the air through the sand specimen. Then the time taken. This is the permeability number calculation. So remember this formula, how to calculate the permeability number. That will V into H by APT. So V is the volume, H is the height, V is the volume of the specimen, volume of the air, H is the height of the specimen, A is the area of the specimen, and P is the pressure through which air passed, and T is the time taken to passing that specimen in seconds. T is in seconds. So that is the formula for the permeability calculations. So this is the figure. This is the permeability testing. Let's see this. This is the attachment through which the permeability will be tested. Okay. So there is another test that is called the refractoriness test. We'll discuss this in next class. The refractoriness test, and there is another test also, the strength test. These two tests will be discussed in the next classes, and Moore harness test 3. Okay, the 3 tests will be discussed in the next class. What is a mole harness test, and then strength test, and then your refractoriness test. These 3 tests will be discussed in the next class. So stop here.